legs? How does my phone vibrate? Why doesn't this USB plug ever fit in on the first try? Today, you'll have all the answers. Number 1. Ferrite beads. No obscure tech shenanigans here, don't be scared. There might be just one ferrite bead around you right now. If you're in front of a laptop, just look at the end of its power cable near the plug. There it is, that big cylindrical lump of black plastic. Ever wonder what it's good for? Well, any cable, like one that provides power to your laptop, is, in fact, sort of an antenna in nature. It has all the similar parts, so it can show all the similar properties and even receive random signals from time to time. This produces a lot of electromagnetic noise, which isn't any good for your computer. The ferrite bead acts as a signal suppressor, also known as a resistor, which cancels all this noise. Essentially, it kind of reminds your power cable that it's not part of a radio. Number 2. Infrared code. Sounds like the title of some Cold War-themed movie, but it's about the language your TV speaks with its remote. In fact, remotes use any wavelength of light to pass a message to a TV. It's just that infrared is much more convenient in production. But it's not the infrared light itself that's important for sending a signal. The most significant thing here is that every signal is not a flat flash of infrared light, but a burst of short flickers, serving to encode a specific message, kind of like Morse code. This is how your TV knows which button you're pressing on a remote. The message consists of ones and zeros. In the language of your TV, zeros are short pauses between pulses of infrared light, and ones are longer pauses, although all the bursts are so quick that you won't ever notice any latency in signal passing. Number 3. Keyboard legs. Well, it may seem obvious that those little things are here to make your keyboard more ergonomic, but in reality, that's far from the truth. Having the keyboard in a flat position is actually better for your wrists. These legs are only here to help you see the letters you're typing more clearly. Another strange thing about a keyboard is those little bumps on the F and J keys. They're used in 10-finger typing as a guide point for you to properly position your hands without looking at the keyboard itself. So you don't need to memorize all of the keyboard, you only need to remember the relative locations of other keys in reference to the F and J keys. Try to learn it, it makes typing a lot faster. Number 4. USB-affling plugs. These awful things seem specifically made to mess with people. But just as I was about to swear in frustration, I was stunned by a simple realization. USBs are made this way, so you can't plug them into the computer the wrong way. Even if there wasn't a plastic part inside to prevent it, a USB inserted upside down wouldn't even work. Imagine this for a moment. Wouldn't it be even more frustrating to be forced to unplug and plug in again the USB every time you did it wrong? So, these annoying plastic things inside USB connectors actually help you. And here's a little pro tip for you. Every USB plug has the USB Trident logo only on the upside. Just to make sure you see it facing you and plug it in. Yes, it's that simple. No jokes here. Number 5. Imbalanced motors are helpful. If something is imbalanced, chunky, and shaky, it doesn't mean that it has no use. You use imbalanced motors every day, even though you may have had no idea. These motors are really tiny, a bit bigger than a pencil tip, and there are several of them located in different parts of your smartphone. Motors spin a weight, but this weight is shaped like a half circle, so their movement produces an uneven force. Because of the fast rotation, this force doesn't push everything around in just one direction, but seemingly in all directions at once, like it can't make up its mind about which way to go. To us, all this turbulence feels like a simple vibration. Yep, every time you get a notification about your pizza delivery, or a message from a dear one you've been waiting on for so long, tiny imbalanced motors make sure you don't miss it. Number 6. Olympic medals made from smartphones? The 2020 Olympic and Paralympic Games in Tokyo, Japan will have all the medals made only from recycled tech. The collection of tech waste already ended on March 31, 2019. And don't worry, they'll still be made of gold, silver, and bronze, but not from mines and ore, from smartphones, laptops, and cameras. Over 5 million smartphones were collected to get 66.8 pounds of gold, 9,038 pounds of silver, and 5,952 pounds of bronze total. This is possible because, believe it or not, every smartphone has gold, silver, and bronze in it. Those materials are really good at conducting electrical impulses and are truly reliable. Corrosion is not really an issue for them. 1 million smartphones contain around 772 pounds of silver and 75 pounds of gold. No wonder phones cost so much these days. Number 7. Striped mini jack. Maybe you've noticed that the plug on your headphones, also called a mini jack, has those little stripes between the metal parts. Sometimes there are 2 of them, sometimes 3, and the oldest mini jacks have only 1. But why is that? Those stripes are made of polymeric material, like plastic, that's not able to conduct an electric signal. Their main purpose is to separate different channels of electric impulses that transfer information. Those with 1 stripe could provide only a mono sound signal, which means that both headphone speakers will receive exactly the same information and therefore will play the same sound. 2-stripe plugs can separate 2 signals, and that helps to transfer stereo sound. All music today is in stereo, so your left headphone speaker plays a slightly different track than your right. This is how music reaches its depth and complexity of sound. 3 stripes means that your headset can not only play sounds in stereo, but also has a microphone in it, and you can use it as a hands-free device. Sorry to those who thought that the stripes were just for decoration, but hey, they still look fancy enough. Number 8. Shakes undo mistakes. Did you know that by shaking your smartphone, you can cancel your latest actions? On iPhones, this function comes by default, but is downloadable for Android devices too. This is a good example of how an accelerometer and a gyroscope work in your smartphone. Any device nowadays has those. An accelerometer measures velocity, and a gyroscope measures rotation motion. This means that their collective efforts help your device to know how exactly it's positioned and at what speed it moves. Spin and flip it all you want. You won't make those 2 sensors dizzy. They help to count your steps in the fitness app, to show you which way you're facing the street on a map, and a lot of mobile games are entirely built around a network of orientation sensors. Number 9. What your phone charger is trying to tell you. There are so many strange symbols, they seem to just jumble up into an unintelligible cryptographic mess. Don't worry, let's just sort them out all one by one once and for all. There will always be some kind of certification mark, as the CE mark, for example. That simply means that this charger is good enough for you to use it. It has passed all the quality tests and is ready to go. A little house symbol tells you that this device is only suitable for house use. The double square sign is one of the most important because it shows that your charger has double insulation and you are well protected from electric shock. The trash can crossed out means that the charger needs to be recycled as tech waste. Simply throwing them in the garbage may result in environmental damage. And last, but not least, those V signs and circles demonstrates the level of efficiency your charger is at. If there is I before V, this level is standard for the US. If there is only V, this charger meets standards for Europe too. Stress and a whole bunch of tears. It's also good for cutting perfect thin slices of cheese. Everything is better with cheese. The diagonal leather patch on backpacks isn't just for decoration, it's there to hold your nasty shoes. Backpacks are made for the outdoors, with pockets to hold water bottles, pens, maps, coins, and maybe even tiny dogs. So it makes sense to tie up your muddy shoes on the outside of your bag. Placing a wooden spoon across the top of a pot of pasta can stop it from turning into a volcano situation. The bubbles get all confused when they come into contact with the spoon's water-repelling surface, and they retreat back into the pot. Victory! Less mess and more pasta. If you're pre-rinsing your dishes like you were told to, you might be getting worse results from your dishwasher. Most modern dishwashers have sensors inside them to sense how dirty your plates are. Then they unleash a controlled jet of water to get all of that stuff off. Scrape any solid food into your compost bin and stack them up properly. Let the dishwasher do the hard work. Dropping an open juice box can turn a relaxing Sunday into a day of cleaning up a sticky mess. The manufacturers know how you feel and how clumsy you can be. That's why they put little handles on the cartons. Flip up the flaps at the top of the juice box. Okay, now you can totally space out. Blenders are designed to have the liquids put in first. To make the perfect smoothie, add your milk, coconut water, yogurt, or whatever you use in first. Then your berries and spinach and whatever. You can thank me later. You're welcome. Ever pull the foil lid off a pudding or one of those mini applesauce things and realize you don't have a spoon with you? Don't worry, there's a trick for that, hidden in the foil. Give it a little fold and it's good to go. Now, it's not really a spoon, more of a mini shovel, but it gets the job done. Or you can use your fingers instead. No more sacrificing your fingernail on that keyring your friend got you in Cabo. For a frustration-free way to add a new key to your ring, grab a staple remover and wedge its teeth between the coils. Create even more space by pressing down. Now, there's no need to cry over spilled milk. Pouring milk out of a carton can sometimes lead to messy accidents. Unless you use this simple trick, turn the carton around and pour it out that way. What? It may seem weird, but once you try it, you'll never go back. Have you ever tried to pull out a square of plastic wrap only to have the whole roll jump out of the box in excitement? Not anymore. There's little cardboard tabs on the sides to hold the tube in place, making it easy to glide the film out. Just push them in and never be frustrated again. Never! Using a plunger on a clogged kitchen sink or toilet can be annoying. But have you really got the right tool for the job? One is the standard bowl-shaped rubber head. This is perfect for flat surfaces like a sink or a tub. The other one has a narrower head on it, specifically designed for toilet pipes. Having a cold drink on a hot summer's day is so refreshing. But what do you do if your soda bottle is still warm? Cry? The always handy paper towel is here to save the day. Wet the towel, wrap it around the bottle, and place it in the freezer for 15 to 20 minutes. Presto! A nice cold beverage. When you look at a check and see MP near the signature line, it means the check printer used microprint as an extra security feature. To the untrained eye, it looks like a normal line. Tricky stuff. Elevators have many tricks up their sleeves. Not that they actually wear coats or anything. Pressing the floor button twice to turn it off, holding the closed door button and your floor together to get an express ride, does that actually work? But what about that secret hole in the outside door? Is someone looking in on your bored, resting elevator face? As cool as that would be, it's only for maintenance people to open the elevator and fix any problems. Cutting cherry tomatoes can be extremely boring, one tomato at a time. Surely, there's a quicker way to do this. Well, try placing a bunch of them between two plates. Slice in between and enjoy perfectly cut cherry tomato halves. The colored tags used to seal bread tell you which day of the week the bread was baked on. Who would have guessed? The coating makes it easier for shops to remove older loaves from the shelves. But bread tags can do more than keep your favorite loaf sealed. Grabbing the right cord from behind the TV is all about luck, until now. Use the old bread tags as indicators to quickly find the cord you want. Look at some of those loose coins in your jar by the door. Notice those ridges? Back in the 18th century, people would file coins down, round up the shavings, and mint their own coins later. To stop this, the U.S. Mint decided to put ridges on the coins to show if they've been tampered with. Now, it's just tradition. The indent at the bottom of wine bottles is called a punt. The punt makes the wine bottle stronger, so if they're dropped, the cork won't fly across the room with all that pressure. Now, takeaway sodas have a built-in coaster. Where, you might ask? The lid, of course. Place the lid down on a table under your drink to avoid any of those annoying condensation rings. Wooden hangers aren't just great for the environment, they'll save your clothes too. If you have pine or cedar hangers laying around, keep them in the closet with all the others. The secret behind wooden hangers is that they'll keep moths off your clothes and make them smell fresh too. Only a few people know the secret of getting your to-go ketchup out of the bottle without wasting any. So tap that number 57 sweet spot to get a perfect, what's the word, dollop? Don't waste your strawberries by cutting off the top. Use a straw and push through from the bottom of the strawberry. Now enjoy a tasty cylinder of strawberry goodness. Just don't eat the leaves. The brushes on the sides of escalators aren't for cleaning your shoes, but they do a great job. The nylon brushes stop us from getting caught on the side of the escalator by tickling our ankles. Interesting trick. Many screwdrivers can be used with a wrench to create more torque. Just place the wrench over the handle of the screwdriver and you'll use a lot less force than you would have before. It also makes it easier to get to those hard-to-reach areas. Flip any Tupperware container over and you'll likely see a few symbols. These are to show you if they're dishwasher safe, if they can be microwaved or frozen, and how to recycle them. So it turns out we have been opening bananas wrong for way too long. Instead of opening up at the stem, turn them upside down and peel from the bottom. It opens much easier that way. That's how monkeys eat them, so how do we get it so wrong? Analog watches can do much more than tell time. If you need to step away from your computer a bunch of times but don't want to have to keep logging back in, place your mouse over the top of your analog watch. The mouse will read the ticking second hand and keep your computer screen from turning black. Extension cords can easily frustrate anyone. Just as you start getting into a rhythm, the power cuts out. The best way to avoid this is simple. Builders use this trick all the time. Tie the ends together and they'll never disconnect again. Keychain bottle openers aren't just for kids, you know. On the underside, there's a thing you can use to open a can as well. This works especially well if you don't have nails or don't want them broken. Back in the day, pizza for dinner was like winning the lottery, only with more cheese. But did you ever notice that plastic stopper in the middle of the box, stopping the lid from touching the pizza? It also has another use. Use this little stopper to hold down the slice next to yours when you're getting it out of the box. Yeah, you can thank me later. That square of fabric isn't meant for repairing holes in your clothing, although might as well keep it just in case. It's actually a tester for your washing machine and detergent. If the fabric square comes out of the cycle okay, then wash away. But be honest, how many people do you think have really ever done this?